All right, so we should be live right now, but before we kind of get this thing underway, and while I check my YouTube channel and make sure everything's running smoothly, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Definitely, I would love to shout out my family members, is my mom, my dad, my brother, and definitely PSA for everything they do for me, and for that way that I am here today. So,
Oh, anyways, let's get right into the interview. So usually it's like a tradition of mine to not notice until the end of the interview where the player has a number in their Instagram, and then I'm like, oh shoot, let me ask what the number. I usually always forget, but this time, I'm focused, a little more focused, more ready. So talk about that number 11 and what that means to you.
number 11, it means a lot to me. That's my brother's number. Look up to my brother a lot. He's the one who pushed me to be the basketball player that I am today. He helps me with everything, gives me great advice, everything that I need, and he's the one who helped me today. So,
Yeah, and being in New Jersey right now, what's the basketball scene looking like currently in terms of like all the games you've played? If you've been able to play any games and that stuff.
the basketball scene was great. We actually had a season this year, so it was good. We played 14 games. It was a good season. We pulled off a good wins against teams like Don Bosco, Roselle Catholic, and more teams, but those were the best wins so far. So.
Yeah, and those are definitely Roselle Catholic. I'm pretty sure is a decently loaded team, and so is Don Bosco. I am sure like crap. What is the front office like? Do you see their stuff?
No, I never watched the front office. I heard of them though. I know someone that knows them and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think they did a thing of the player was either another like either at Don Bosco or their rival. That's kind of how I guess you say it. Kind of no, I don't know. I think they put out great work, so that's why I watched. But I'm curious. Your teammate RJ Green, he told me how they just played like a 4 game or a best of 7 series as their season against Stepanak, I think. So I was curious, would if that was an option this season instead to have just a best of 7 series instead of just like a normal average season, would you maybe pick the best of 7? Because I think that's kind of a cool concept.
No, I wouldn't do the best of 7 because we played more games, and the more games that we played, it was like against good teams. We played all out of conference games, so it was good.
Yeah, and that's kind of similar. Like I guess my school season this year, like our coaches basically put us up against all the toughest teams in our part of Florida instead of our usual like we never have an easy schedule, but our usual like schedule that fits our competition. Like he put us against these top teams, like some Division 1 commits and some of these really good players from our area and everything. And our season was pretty good. Like his purpose of doing it was so the playoffs would be easier for us, which was kind of true. It was a little easier than the games we played in the regular season. But I guess how that like I guess did you enjoy kind of having a really tough schedule? Did you kind of wish it was maybe a little more like usual or what?
No, I love the tough schedule. Usually, we play in conference games, and those games we usually beat the teams that we play in conference with ease. So when we played against the teams out of conference, it was a good games, and it allowed me to expand my game and show other people what I can do on a bigger level and a bigger stage. So.
Yeah. So if you could pick a game this year, maybe not like your best game where you put up like the biggest numbers, but a game this year where you kind of came out and showed a lot of people you like show a lot of people like I'm like that. Which game would that be?
Definitely Roselle Catholic, and Don Bosco too, both of them, and
Yeah.
those are the season. So
Yeah. Wait.
I definitely it was different. It was because since it was our first game of the season, we our team had COVID right before it, so we had to sit out 14 days, and we had to get right to our first game. So
Yeah. And you said you ended up winning those first like just 2 games back.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not going to hate against your team, but like, that's kind of like, I don't really know too much about New Jersey basketball, but I just know like Roselle Catholic has some good players, and I've heard of Don Bosco before, so I'm assuming they're decent. Like, you guys are in my eyes, like a big underdog, probably heading to those games. Fresh off Corona, like not a lot of practice time and everything like that. So how were you able to get the job done in both of those games?
Um, my teammates was me and my teammates just did well. We was working together. All the stuff I worked hard during the summer paid off, and in I was just ready. I knew those were gonna be our first 2 games of the season, so I knew I had to get my mind right, and everything was serious from there on out. So
Yeah. And did you guys get to play for like a state championship, or was it more just you got 14 games and then that's the end of the season?
teams, that was it.
Yeah. So you guys like you didn't get any trophies or anything like that?
Nope.
Oh man. Do you think if there was a states, you think like well, I'm assuming you'd say like yeah, we would win. So why do you think you guys would probably pull off a state championship?
I believe we'll pull off a state championship because our team's hunger was different. It was we knew that we started off the season with not even being ranked in New Jersey. So they didn't even rank us. So we knew that the first 2 games of our season was against ranked teams. So we knew that we had to show out our first 2 games of the season. And and I felt like that's what I did and that's what my teammates did too. So
Yeah.
and I
So
put a lot of work in my game, so and I was ready to expand.
yeah. So what's it like kind of being that underdog team of New Jersey?
Um, it's good because I definitely feel like when you play against those teams that everybody wants to come and see and watch, they never heard of you, so when they see you, they're wondering who's this kid, and then they're watching out for the rest of the season, and they want to see what this kid can do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I actually see. Hold on, this is gonna make a little loud noise, but I just saw something on Instagram and now I wanna that you're tagging. I wanna see. Oh, actually, it won't make any noise. Let's see. Braxton Jones. Yeah, not man. So you beat them 55-50. So that was a close game too.
Yeah,
Rosen Catholic.
definitely was.
Yeah, I had no idea. I wasn't even sure. I thought some places in New Jersey weren't even playing. So I guess, but yeah, how that? When did they announce like you guys are gonna play? Because I know for a while like there was maybe gonna be no season there.
They announced it maybe they announced it around February time because we had our first game in March. So
Yeah. So you really went like a long time without knowing what was gonna happen.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't March. They announced it around January. So
I
we
I mean that's still a pretty long time. That's like half the school year. You were like usually the season starts at least where I live like around Thanksgiving ish time, like middle of November. You get practice in October and everything. So you kind of went a long time. Having no idea what was going to happen. I guess.
definitely a long time, but I was just working by myself and just getting ready, working around 3 times a day and being ready for the time to come. I knew that this season was going to be a big season for me, which it definitely was, and I showed out this season.
Yeah. And like I guess during that process when you didn't know there was a season, you said you were training and everything, but were you kind of dealing with like some thoughts, maybe like let me try transferring, going someplace else, like out of state or anything like that, or do you just choose to
Um,
stick it out?
I definitely had some thoughts about it. There was definitely a couple schools that wanted me to go to a different school, but I didn't. It was still going to be all in New Jersey, but it was depending on what the Diocese of Trenton wanted to do for the school year. They said that we were going to have a season, so thought it was best for me to stay. So
Yeah. And I was talking to the person I interviewed yesterday. We were kind of saying how like I guess the issue with South Florida basketball where I live, like it's actually better than I thought. Like we have a lot of highly ranked players here, but it could have been even better. But a lot of guys kind of left the area like thinking, well, like a whole group left, like with 2 5 stars and a 4 star, and this other guy is going to go Division 1. They all left because they thought there wasn't going to be a season. So I kind of understand. And 2 other people kind of the same thing, but it was also more like thinking about it because people don't realize they kind of make it out. Like in like South, which I agree. Like going to Montverde IMG, one of those schools, is obviously going to be a lot better than playing in your hometown. But it's like you're making it out of your hometown. I feel like is a lot more meaningful. So why did you choose to stay and play instead of just going to one of those big prep schools?
I decided. Well, first off, Trenton's not my hometown. I'm not from
Yeah,
Trenton.
whatever. Like, don't. I guess you say not like going to just a big prep school and just staying in going to a normal school.
Um, it definitely made a big difference because I knew that this. I knew I wanted to go to a school where it fairly can be. I can take more shots. I can show what I'm more about. Going to those schools where you go into a big prep school, you're playing against other people that's playing just like you. They can score the ball just like you. They're high level players. So I wanted to play at somewhere where I can showcase my skills that I've been working hard all summer for. So.
Yeah, and I guess you could say like it's not like you don't play EYBL, or then you are playing with and against those kids that are on those big schools. So you're kind of getting like the best of both. You're playing half the year you're playing at high school where you could kind of show all your good skills, and during the off season you're more kind of taking a little more of a backseat role because you're with all these other highly ranked players, and then you're playing against highly ranked players as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. And talk about that recruiting process a little bit, just how that's all been going.
The recruiting process has been going well. I have a Zoom call coming up soon. I have just been talking to my coaches around maybe once to twice a week. So trying to get a feel about what they think about what's going to go on with the team coming up soon, and just want to see what's going to be best for my future, really. So.
Yeah. And with UIBL coming up now, I think you guys have practiced a few times. Like, what's it been like getting back into the UIBL swing of things?
It's crazy. PSA practices is 3 hours, so I haven't had those practices back in probably 2 years from now because we haven't had EYBL last year. So it was practices is crazy. It's you got to work hard. You got to show up every day because everyone's fighting for a spot. So.
Yeah. Wait, well, but it's not like a tryout. Like, what do you mean everyone's fighting for
Fighting, fighting for playing time. Really, that's what it is.
Yeah. So what's it kind of like? Like you guys are all on a team, but then it's like during practice, you're also almost like every man for themselves. Like you're just trying to play your best, so you kind of be in the best position for the UIBL season. What's it like all being a team and all being friends, but at the same time, competing and going at it during practice.
Definitely. We're all competing to get better, and just basically we're playing against all the people that's the top in their state and top in their on their team. Everyone on the team has had a great season, so we're just trying to work hard together and be the best EYBL team we can be.
For sure, and I'm sure you believe, just like how I asked you, like if you guys are going to win states, I'm sure you also believe that you guys are going to win Peach Jam this year. So why do you think you're going to win Peach Jam?
I think we're gonna win Peach Jam because we all play a specific role. That's what PSA wants us to do: play a specific role. And when we play that role, we're gonna play the role that best fits for the team. So I know me, I'm willing to do anything to help the team win. So whatever they want it to be. So, and I think that's what everyone else on PSA wants to do too. So.
Yeah. So what would you say is like your, like you said, you'll do whatever it takes to win. But it's like, so will everyone else. Like, what's your more specific role on the team, or do you even not know yet since you're kind of getting back the team now?
Specific role is definitely to hit open shots. Hit open shots and defense. Definitely play great defense. I have to everything has to be really defense. Defense is a big priority, and I have to make sure I hit shots.
Yeah. Is there a player or a team, I guess, during AAU this year that you're really excited to face up against?
I would say team final. Team final, I would love to play against. I know a couple people from team final, and I heard Night Riders has always been a good program.
Yeah. We're coming for we want all the smoke, all the smoke.
Yeah, Night Riders is a great team, so definitely love to see that.
Yeah, because I know they did win. Like I'm still kind of getting like new to this whole thing because I was honestly surprised when they found out they won Peach Jam because like looking at their team, like I didn't think they were that good, but now thinking about it, like they were actually really good. And I think this year is gonna be I don't know. I think they have a good chance I'll win. I'd give them at least like top 5 chance. All due respect to you guys, I'd give them unless Night Riders starts to be mean to me, but as long as they're nice to me and support me, like I'm still gonna rock with them. So I'm gonna give them at least like one of the top 5 teams. They're playing in Atlanta at like some on the radar thing uh, this weekend. So we'll kind of see how they do. Do you know when is the first like session for you guys?
Oh, I'm not very sure. I know we have a game this week. I know that's. I know we have a game this weekend, but I don't know what. I don't. I'm not very sure when our first
Yeah,
UIB.
yeah. I mean I'm assuming it's coming up soon. Like I guess how excited are you as well to just go out and because I know a big thing with AAU is like being able to travel with the team and like hang out in the hotel room and everything. How excited are you for kind of those experiences?
Really excited because I know last year I missed it. We didn't have UIBL, so those are the experiences that you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for big times as a kid to play in those situations. So
Yeah, and it's playing basketball. It's not all about the drip or it's not all about the money, but EYBL gives some pretty good gear that I think makes it worth it. Playing basketball with them, and since you are a senior, which I heard from somebody, like some teams only the oldest players get gear. How excited are you to kind of get that as well?
definitely every year EYBL blesses has nice gear every year. It's always the gear is always nice. So I love the EYBL gear, and PSA blesses us with gear every year. So
Yeah. So last year you got both the Kobe's and the KD's.
last year, no, I had I had the I definitely got the warm ups, the pink, the tie dye.
Oh, those are tough. Those are my favorite out of the whole thing. Those are hard.
It's not the biggest deal to me. I know that when I go there, it's a business trip. It's basically about we're trying to go there and win games. We want to win the championship. So that's a big part to me. So drip is nice, but definitely a part to win games.
Yeah, I mean it's not like if it was like the year didn't look so good, like but man, I remember last year like I probably ruined some like I was supposed to put it out. Anybody that reposted it on their story, I DM them, like begging them. Like I just went this is kind of before I got really into this stuff, so I didn't have too much of like a reputation to demolish, but I was going insane for that. Like I was asking like coaches that, I'm trying to kind of learn a lot from them about being a coach and everything. Like the first thing I asked them was like, how do I get the gear? Like I thought it was one of the most beautiful things I've seen were those tie-dye stuff. So I was going crazy. But bringing it back to your high school season now, coming into your senior year next year, or technically this year, 2021, 2022 school year, what are some of the goals for your final year of high school basketball?
One of my goals is I hope that we have a real season next year for high school, and I want to win TOC's Tournament of Champions. So that's basically winning the whole thing of New Jersey. That's a huge thing I definitely want to do, and that's a big part to me. I really want to win games. So
Yeah. So is TOC like is it that literally where there's one team like out of number one in the whole state, or is it still kind of based off classification?
it's basically once you win that, that means you're the number one. Like New Jersey, you win rings. It's a trophy. Basically, everything that you dream to have. So
Yeah, because I know like in Florida we have 7 classes, so there's like 7 state champions. But for the TOCs, there's only one state champion in the whole state, or one TOC
yeah,
champion.
one champion.
Yeah, that I think that'd be cool. Like, obviously, I can't really work for Florida. There's a lot of schools, but and I'm sure New Jersey has a decent amount of schools too. But I know New Jersey like a little bit smaller than Florida. I guess, but yeah, did you get to play in that your freshman and sophomore year?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah. Did you get to play in the TOC thing your freshman and sophomore year?
No, we didn't get to play in it. We got stopped short early. So
Okay, so I mean, I guess it's kind of just gonna make it, I guess, a little more enjoyable for you guys if you happen to make it then.
definitely.
Yeah, and overall, my final question for you is, what do you want your legacy to be like once you step away from the game of basketball?
That's a great question. I definitely want my legacy to be something as in people to look up to me and realize that not you don't have to be ranked in order to be the best. I want to show that just because of your size doesn't mean anything. You work hard, you put in the work, things things happen. Things gonna stuff that you want to happen is gonna happen when you work hard. So that's a big part to me. Definitely
Yeah.
want to. Okay, so that's a big part to me. I want to definitely leave a legacy, and even when it's time for me to people that lives around my area to look up to me, which they already do, but definitely look up to me, and I can show everybody else that just because you work hard, anything can happen. So
For sure. Well, anyways, before you interview, just a couple things. One, that question, it's I would say it's a little basic. I don't want to give myself all the credit for making that question. I actually got not inspired, but I asked that question like usually at the end of usually at the end of the interviews in like multiple ways, or I have like kind of like three that kind of ask the same thing, and that's kind of one of them. That one I got from this guy Zach Shoemaker. He does a great job, so that's kind of where I got that wording from. Was that was from him. But yeah, anyways, man, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you taking your time and everything, and shout out PSA Cardinals as well, because if it wasn't for them, wouldn't be able to talk to guys like you. So yeah, just make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at Braxton_Jones.11, and I'm at iHoopsFL. And anyways, for Trenton Combo Guard or Trenton Catholic Academy Combo Guard Braxton Jones, I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.